Bullfights, flamenco, and lazy siestas. That's what everyone thinks life in Spain is about, right? But beneath that postcard-perfect image lies a country that breaks its own rules daily, where people argue passionately, laugh loudly, and somehow live slower but fuller. Streets turn into parades overnight. Strangers treat you like family, and time simply stops caring. Spain isn't just beautiful, it's beautifully weird. The kind of place that makes you question how the rest of the world got life so wrong. So buckle up. This is not your average travel story. This is life in Spain. Let's take a look. Number 12. Fiesta culture. Life is a never-ending celebration. Spain doesn't throw parties. Spain becomes the party. From the moment you land, it feels like every town is secretly planning its next explosion of joy. Take La Tomatina in Buñol. Over 20,000 people hurl ripe tomatoes at each other every August, and that's just one of hundreds of fiestas that happen all year. Then there's Pamplona's Running of the Bulls, where centuries of tradition collide with pure adrenaline. But the real magic? It's in the local fiestas you've never heard of. Small-town celebrations that last 3, 4, sometimes 5 days straight. Locals shut down businesses, dance in the streets, and eat enough tapas to feed a small army. You'll see grandmas out at 3 a.m. dancing next to teenagers. No one's too old or too young for joy here. And the best part? Most festivals are completely free. Drinks and snacks are cheap, and even in big cities like Valencia or Seville, you can join the chaos without emptying your wallet. Spain's fiestas aren't tourist shows. They're a lifestyle, a heartbeat. It's how Spaniards survive stress, celebrate life, and turn ordinary days into living art. So if you think you've seen wild celebrations before, wait until you experience Spain, where every day could turn into a national holiday. Number 11. Expat life, the dream and the reality. Moving to Spain sounds like the ultimate fantasy. Ocean views, lazy mornings, and tapas on repeat. But behind the Instagram dream is a fascinating mix of comfort, chaos, and compromise. The truth? Spain is one of Europe's most affordable countries for expats, especially outside big cities. In Valencia or Granada, you can live well on around 1,200 euros a month. Rent, food, and even the occasional sangria night included. Health insurance? Free or nearly free for residents, and top-notch. That's why digital nomads and retirees can't get enough of it. But let's be honest, Spanish bureaucracy might test your patience more than a slow Wi-Fi signal. Getting a visa, tax number, or even setting up Wi-Fi can feel like an ancient ritual of paperwork and waiting. Jobs? They exist, but salaries are lower than in most of Western Europe, averaging about 1,800 euros a month. So if you're moving here, remote work or freelance gigs are your golden ticket. Yet, once you sink into the mañana lifestyle, long lunches, community vibes, and late-night laughs, you realize why people stay for decades. Spain teaches you how to live, not just exist. You'll spend less, stress less, and maybe, just maybe, forget what rushing ever felt like. Number 10. Food culture. Beyond tapas and paella. Forget the cliches. Spanish food isn't about fancy restaurants or photogenic paella. It's about real life on a plate. In Spain, meals are events, not errands. The first thing travelers notice? You can eat incredibly well for cheap. A full menú del día, 3 courses with wine, often costs under 12 euros, even in big cities. Tapas aren't just snacks, they're a social ritual. In Granada, bars still give you a free tapa with every drink. And the deeper you travel, the weirder and more wonderful it gets. Octopus in Galicia, bull-tail stew in Cordoba, pinto stacked high in Basque country. Each region is its own culinary world. Spaniards take pride in eating local, seasonal, and together. There's no solo dining in Spain. Even lunch breaks turn into 2-hour social gatherings. Farmers' markets overflow with fresh produce, and locals actually know where their food comes from. Plus, Spain's wine culture? Absolute goldmine. You can grab a quality Rioja for €5, cheaper than bottled water in some places. Food here isn't about status, it's about connection. Every bite has a story, and every table feels like home. So if you plan to eat your way through Spain, bring your appetite and a little extra time because nobody rushes a meal here. Number 9. The Spanish rhythm, where time moves differently. Try living in Spain for a week and you'll quickly realize clocks don't rule here, people do. Lunch at 2 p.m.? Too early. Dinner before 9? Unthinkable. Nightlife? Starts when most countries are heading to bed. This slow, deliberate rhythm is both confusing and addictive. Shops close mid-afternoon for la siesta, not because people are lazy, but because life comes first. Spaniards value connection over constant hustle. You'll see whole families filling outdoor terraces at midnight, laughing, eating, talking. Even in big cities like Madrid or Barcelona, time bends around social life. Offices open late, but no one's rushing out the door. It's about balance, trabajar para vivir, not the other way around. For travelers, it's a wake-up call, ironically, a late one. You can't force Spain to move faster. You adjust, or you miss the beauty of it. And money-wise? This lifestyle doesn't drain your wallet. A 2-hour meal with wine can cost less than a fast lunch in London or Paris. It's proof that happiness here is measured in hours shared, not euros spent. The Spanish rhythm might mess with your schedule at first, but once it sinks in, you'll never want to live by the clock again. Drop a comment, then subscribe, and like before we move on. Number 8. Architecture and design, where ancient meets avant-garde. Spain's streets are basically an open-air art gallery. One minute you're standing under a Roman aqueduct in Segovia, and the next, you're staring at a futuristic glass cube in Bilbao. The country's architecture tells 2,000 years of wild history. Romans, Moors, and modern dreamers all left fingerprints here. The Alhambra in Granada feels like walking through a poem carved in stone, while Barcelona's Sagrada Familia looks like something from another planet, still under construction after more than 140 years. And it's not just old-world beauty. Spain leads Europe in sustainable design. Entire neighborhoods in cities like Valencia and Zaragoza use solar panels and green rooftops. Money talk? Entry fees are surprisingly low. €20 gets you inside architectural icons like the Sagrada Familia or the Royal Palace. But countless wonders, Roman bridges, Moorish gates, medieval castles, are completely free to explore. Even small towns burst with creative flair. Colorful tiles, wrought iron balconies, and geometric patterns that whisper of ancient Arabia. It's this collision, old meets new, chaos meets harmony, that gives Spain its cinematic look. Every corner feels like a set for an art film, whether you're in Madrid's Gran Via or a sleepy Andalusian village. Spain doesn't just build structures, it builds emotion in stone, glass, and time itself. Number 7. The Spanish personality, passion, pride, and peculiar politeness. If Spain were a person, it'd be loud, funny, stubborn, emotional, and always ready for one more drink, even when the night's already perfect. The Spanish personality is pure fire wrapped in warmth. People speak with their hands, argue like they're at war, and then hug like they've known you forever. And here's the twist. Spaniards can seem blunt at first. They'll tell you exactly what they think, no sugarcoating. But that honesty comes from respect, not rudeness. They're allergic to fake politeness. If they like you, they'll show it. If they don't, you'll know. Still, family, friends, and community sit at the heart of everything. It's not unusual for grown kids to live near their parents, or for Sunday lunch to last 5 hours. Compliments fly freely, laughter is loud, and emotions aren't hidden. They're celebrated. Money-wise, Spaniards don't chase wealth as much as they chase quality of life. Flashy cars matter less than good company and great food. You'll find even modest earners sipping wine at sunset, not stressing over overtime. The Spanish secret? They live fully in the moment, proud of who they are, where they come from, and how they love. Once you experience it, every conversation elsewhere will feel just a bit too quiet. Number 6. Work and business culture. Relaxed but resilient. Spain's work culture is a paradox. Laid back yet quietly tough. Forget the rat race. Here, people work to live, not live to work. But don't mistake that for laziness. Spaniards know when to slow down and when to hustle. Businesses often open late and close for siesta, especially outside big cities. At first, it feels chaotic, but it's deeply cultural. Productivity balanced with well-being. And surprisingly, Spain is one of Europe's fastest-growing hubs for startups and remote workers. Cities like Madrid, Barcelona, and Malaga are buzzing with co-working spaces and digital nomads who traded stress for sunshine. Money talks? The average monthly salary sits around 1,800 euros, lower than Germany or France, but daily costs match that pace. Lunch menus for 12 euros, coffee for €1.50, rent far cheaper outside capital cities. The vibe in Spanish offices? Friendly, team-focused, and unpretentious. Hierarchies exist, but relationships matter more than titles. Deals are often sealed over long lunches, and yes, punctuality is flexible. Yet, despite the relaxed rhythm, Spain survived economic crashes, reinvented industries, and turned tourism into a financial powerhouse. This is resilience in sandals, flexible, creative, and confident that life's too short for constant pressure. Work here isn't just a job, it's part of a balanced, human way of living. Number 5. Art, music, and street life. The heartbeat of expression. Walk down a random street in Spain and you'll feel it before you even see it. Rhythm, color, emotion. This country doesn't separate art from daily life. It is daily life. From Picasso's rebellious brushstrokes to Gaudi's dreamlike architecture, Spain's creative energy has always been defiant and deeply personal. Even modern Spanish music reflects that same raw spirit. Think Rosalía mixing flamenco with trap beats or street performers turning alleyways into concert stages. You'll find flamenco in Andalusia's smoky bars, jazz spilling out of Madrid's underground clubs, and indie rock bands lighting up Barcelona rooftops. And here's what surprises travelers. Most of it is free. Every city has open-air concerts, cultural festivals, and live shows that cost little to nothing. In Seville, you can watch spontaneous flamenco for the price of a drink. In Madrid, museum entry days are free, so you can admire masterpieces by Goya, Dalí, and Miró without spending a cent. But the real masterpiece is Spain's street life. People don't hide indoors here. Nights stretch long, plazas fill with laughter, and every corner feels alive with conversation and music. There's a rhythm to how Spain breathes, slow afternoons, loud nights, and endless expression. Art doesn't hang in galleries alone. It dances through neighborhoods, painted on walls, played on guitars, whispered through poems. Even food becomes performance when locals gather over tapas and start singing mid-meal. Spain reminds you that art doesn't need a ticket, it needs people. And this country never runs out of those. Number 4. Regional diversity. One country, many worlds. Spain isn't one country, it's 17. Each region feels like its own universe, with a language, identity, and flavor that could easily stand alone. The contrast hits you instantly. Barcelona's Catalan pride, Andalusia's Moorish echoes, Galicia's misty Celtic soul, and the Basque country's fierce independence. It's like hopping between worlds without crossing a border. In Catalonia, the streets hum with creative rebellion and tech startups. Down south, Granada and Córdoba still glow with Islamic art and palatial courtyards that whisper stories from 700 years ago. In the north, Galicia feels like another planet. Green hills, haunting bagpipes, and seafood so fresh it practically talks back. And if you head to the Canary or Balearic Islands, you'll swear you left Europe entirely. The diversity runs deeper than looks. It's in lifestyle, food, even politics. Spaniards identify just as much with their region as with their country, and locals fiercely protect their traditions. Travelers often stumble into festivals celebrating centuries-old customs, Wine battles, fire runs, and human towers that seem to defy physics. Money-wise? It matters where you go. Madrid and Barcelona can burn a hole in your wallet fast, with rent averaging 1,500 euros or more. But in cities like Valencia, Seville, or Bilbao, you can live comfortably for nearly half that. And smaller towns? They're gold mines for budget travelers. Authentic food, friendly locals, and slow, scenic living. What's beautiful is how Spain's diversity isn't divided. It's alive. Every region argues, laughs, and competes. Yet somehow it all fits together in a way only Spain could pull off. It's a living mosaic, stitched together with pride, flavor, and rhythm. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like before we dive into the next part. Number 3. Nature and outdoor life. Mountains, coasts, and siesta views. Spain is the kind of country where you can ski in the morning, surf in the afternoon, and watch the sunset from a vineyard before dinner. No joke, its geography is pure magic. Over 40% of the land is mountainous, yet it also boasts nearly 5,000 kilometers of coastline. That means you can choose between snow-capped peaks and Mediterranean beaches in the same weekend. The Pyrenees offer world-class hiking and skiing, while the Sierra Nevada in Andalusia gives you ski slopes with ocean views. And if you're a beach lover, you're spoiled. From the wild cliffs of Galicia to the golden sands of Costa del Sol and the untouched coves of Mallorca. For travelers, Spain's outdoor life is a gift that doesn't break the bank. National parks like Ordesa or Picos de Europa are free to enter. Camping sites are budget-friendly, and even luxury rural stays rarely exceed 100 euros a night. Locals practically live outside, hiking, biking, surfing, climbing, or just chatting in plazas for hours. Spain's mild climate, averaging 300 sunny days a year in southern regions, keeps outdoor life buzzing year-round. In places like the Canary Islands, it's beach weather every month. No wonder digital nomads and retirees pick Spain over pricier European countries. You can literally live surrounded by beauty on a modest budget. But what makes Spain's nature so special isn't just the variety, it's the pace. You're encouraged to pause, breathe, and take in the view, preferably with wine in hand. Here, nature isn't a weekend escape, it's a lifestyle, and it's one you'll want to keep forever. Number 2. Cost of living and quality of life. Europe's best balance? Everyone talks about Spain's sunshine, but let's talk about the real glow-up. How far your money actually goes here. Spain offers one of the best cost-to-quality ratios in Europe. Picture this: a 3-course lunch menu with wine for 12 euros, rent in coastal cities like Valencia or Alicante for around 800 euros, and even in Madrid, a comfortable apartment for about 1,200 euros. Groceries, transport, and healthcare? All shockingly affordable compared to France, Germany, or the UK. Public healthcare is top-tier and mostly free for residents. Education costs are low, and public universities average about 1,500 euros a year. Not bad for world-class sunshine. But affordability doesn't mean compromise. Spain's quality of life is legendary. Long meals, short workdays, and neighborhoods built around community, not cars. People live outside, cafes spill into streets, kids play past midnight, and strangers strike up conversations like old friends. For travelers or expats, it's a dream combo: Western comfort without Western chaos. Digital nomads especially love Spain's new visa program, which lets remote workers live here tax-friendly for years. And retirees? They're everywhere, because pensions stretch further here than anywhere else in Western Europe. The secret? Spain figured out the equation everyone else forgot. Less stress, more sun, and a slower rhythm that still gets things done. You might earn less, but you live more. And that trade-off feels like winning the life lottery. Spain doesn't sell luxury, it sells balance. Number 1. Quirky customs and everyday oddities. Spain looks normal until you actually live it. Then suddenly everything feels a little delightfully offbeat. Let's start with the biggest head-scratcher: eating grapes for luck. On New Year's Eve, Spaniards stuff 12 grapes into their mouths, one for each clock chime at midnight, to bring good fortune. Miss a grape, and apparently, your year's doomed. But that's just the warm-up. There's also La Tomatina, the world-famous tomato fight in Buñol, where 20,000 people literally flood the streets with squash tomatoes. Or El Colacho, the baby-jumping festival in northern Spain, where men dressed as devils leap over rows of infants to cleanse them of sin. Sounds crazy? It's just another weekend here. Even the daily routines have their own weird beauty. Breakfast is a whisper, lunch is sacred, and dinner might happen at midnight. Want to grab a coffee at 10 p.m.? Totally normal. And yes, the siesta is still real in smaller towns. Between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m., everything shuts down. Banks, stores, even government offices. At first, it'll drive you nuts, but soon you'll love it. That's Spain's secret. Slowing life down so you can actually enjoy it. Now let's talk social quirks. Spaniards greet friends with 2 kisses, one on each cheek, even between men and women meeting for the first time. Personal space doesn't really exist. Conversations are loud, emotional, and full of gestures. You'll feel like everyone's arguing, until they burst out laughing and order another round. And punctuality? Forget it. 5 minutes in Spain could mean 15, or tomorrow. But it's not laziness, it's cultural flow. Relationships matter more than rigid schedules. Money-wise, this relaxed attitude seeps into everything. Tipping isn't required, €1 or 2 is enough, and dining out doesn't wreck your wallet. A glass of wine costs less than bottled water, and a plate of tapas can fill you for under €10. Even the nightlife feels generous. Bars don't charge entry, and street festivals are free. What's wild is how Spain manages to feel both deeply traditional and utterly unpredictable. Locals take religious processions seriously one week and chase flaming bulls the next. They're old-fashioned about family, yet modern in lifestyle. Everything is a contradiction, and that's what makes it fascinating. Spain doesn't follow rules. It makes its own, wrapped in music, food, laughter, and a pinch of madness. Spain's full of surprises, right? From siestas to fiestas, it's a country that never runs out of stories to tell. If you're loving this journey through Spain's wild charm and everyday magic, don't just scroll away, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your travel crew.